here's Lindsay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to have you here. Now I'm doing my own banners, so I'm going to see what go ahead and put in the comments, and so I can see them come up. And I want to say today what we're doing is I'm enough. You're enough. And here's why. Okay, that's a pretty big title to say. Well, take a breath. Let's all breathe in. I am enough. I am enough. And breathe out. I am enough. We're here. So if you are in California, thank you for having coffee. And you can see my cup says, think happy thoughts. And if you're on the East Coast, maybe you're having lunch with me. And if you're in the middle, you're having a break. And if you're watching this on recording, which most people actually do, then great, because everyone is always enough, no matter what. No matter what. Let me just show you this banner. I'm doing my own banners, I guess. Rumi reminds us, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. It's like, yeah, that somehow that resonates really true with me. I mean, I am everything, just in separate form that I call myself Lindsay Leimbach, being here, having a human experience. But we're going to really dive into that and see, why is that true? Because a lot of times people say, you're enough, believe you're enough. And how do I believe I'm enough when I sometimes don't feel like enough? I don't feel good enough, or I feel I'm not being heard, or I'm not being appreciated, or somehow I'm broken. So if you're saying, and Rumi's saying, I am everything in this universe happening, how could that be true? And that's what this talks about. This is why I'm here, because we're going to talk about it from all different angles. I am enough. So let's just start off with, let me put this up. Start off with what it feels like when you're calm. So everyone, if you take a deep breath in, breathe in, I am, and breathe out for longer, enough. And breathe again in, I am, and breathe out, enough. Longer, enough out. Now, what does that feel to you? How does that make you feel? I don't know if you're watching unless you put in comments. I just want you all to know. How does that make you feel? To me, like when I breathe out enough and I take that breath and I center myself, I start feeling calmer. I start feeling more balanced. I start feeling grounded in this moment. It pulls you right into that moment. So this is very interesting, meaning that when you're in a calm place, when you're in that neutral place, when you let go of all your worries, your anxieties, and all your expectations of birthday parties or whatever's going to happen, buying a new car, when you let all that go, where do you end up? You end up in balance. You end up in peace. You end up in joy. Now, I'm not saying happiness, because we've talked about the difference between happiness and joy. And I think it was episode 5. I'm trying to see my episodes down here in episode 5. But joy is actually that calm state, that feeling that you are enough, that there's something inside of you that is resilient. When people are talking about being enough, they're not talking about your job. They're not talking about your age. Rumi isn't talking about the clothes you have or the money you have. Saying that you have inside of you this balanced sense of connection to everything. You feel connected. You feel like you can have integrity. You feel your authentic self. This is a big word, authentic self. So when I'm feeling enough, I'm not saying I'm enough of you at all. I'm saying I'm enough of me, of me. All the imperfections. I am perfectly imperfect. I am perfectly imperfect. I am enough and unique and wonderful. I have my own music, my inside love, kindness, all that, generosity, all that is already inside of you. So the question is, how do you access that? And why do we not always feel that way? So I like to go to the brain. So let's go and actually learn a little bit more about the human brain. Okay, when you are born, when anyone is born, your amygdala, what it does is it's fully developed and has the fight, flight, freeze response already there. It is your protective part of your brain. It makes sure that you are safe. You are not going to get eaten, that people are going to pay attention to you. If you're hungry, you cry. If you're tired and you need a nap, you start squirming. That is fully developed in the brain. Now, the hippocampus, which is a part of your brain that actually calms down the amygdala in your brain and also takes your what's important to you in your memories and stores it into long-term memory, is not fully developed until you're about 3 years old. Now think about that. So you mean that you come out of the womb and you are all ready to fight, flight, and freeze, scanning the world, saying, I need my needs met from the outside world right now. I'm going to cry, scream, yell, whatever it is, to get attention. And you can't soothe yourself because the hippocampus isn't there to start soothing internally, saying, now just relax. Let's go back to the past memories you've had. You've been through the situation. Your mom is really, really tired. She didn't sleep last night because I cried all night. Just let her have a nap and everything will be okay. Your brain cannot do that yet. It cannot do that. So when we talk about this sense of separation, the problem is that the brain is not fully developed, and we're really in a fight, flight, freeze response when we're younger. And then we need to learn how to access our brain and work with our brain and bring it out. And as you develop your brain, as you develop this incredible tool that has been given to you from God, right? From the universe through DNA and evolution, all that stuff, as that develops, you get to learn how to play all the different parts of it, and you learn to soothe yourself. You learn how to be the observer. You start tapping into what feels right to you. But in the beginning, it's very, very difficult. Do you have the potential? Remember, I'm going to go to my banners. Let's see, you guys can see the name of the talk. Let's see, I can do this. Here it is. Oh, it's already up. I'm sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. So you practicing infinite possibilities. I'm paying attention to you. I wasn't paying attention to the banners. I just want to clarify that. So practicing infinite possibilities. All those possibilities are in your mind and in your brain, but you need to learn how to access it. You need to learn how to use the human experience to reach down inside of yourself and feel it and express it out. I have this beautiful, look at this beautiful bud, this beautiful rose, right? This bud is just budding into the most magnificent smelling rose. It really is. We're like this bud. As a child, you are a teeny little bud. The possibility is in the bud, but it needs to be watered. It needs to grow. It needs to express. It needs to release. And then all the beautiful smells and colors come out, right? That's so true. And another example I had was the acorn. What's in the acorn? Remember the acorn story? Is this a tree? Yeah, it's a tree. Infinite possibility, but it's more than a tree. It's a forest. That's the same for us. So as we go into this balanced state, we start tapping in to the infinite possibilities that are coming from our heart out, not from the outside in, not the jobs, not the age, not the looks, not this looks. What makes me up is not my looks right now. It's not my age of 55. It's my passion, my uniqueness to bring it out and cultivate and bring the smell of my rose to the world. The world is asking for me to be me, nothing else. All right, I made a poem. And so I want you guys, I really thought about this. I am enough. And let's see, I'm going to put up my poem. There it is. I want you to know that this poem link to my website is in the description below. Today, I am enough. When I was young, I did not know. I asked my parents if I was enough. I asked my teachers if I was enough. I asked my friends if I was enough. Do you remember? Mom, is this good? Look what I just did. Today, I know I am enough. I'm calm enough. I'm centered enough. I'm creative enough. I know I am enough even when I fall. I know I'm enough even when I am lost. I know I'm enough even when I forget. I am enough to be open. I am enough to be flexible. I am enough to be resilient. I'm kind enough. I'm growing enough. I'm mindful enough. Today, I'm enough. See, when you're young, you seek outside to validate you and to learn and grow. That is normal. That is what an infant, a toddler, elementary school, middle school, and then you start going out and you start cultivating the brain and you be able to access the prefrontal cortex to be the observer. And then you start deciding what feels right to you, not to everybody else, but to you. Everything is already there. It just takes time. Just like with this rose, you need to give it water, you need to give it sun, you give it care, you give it love. And then it opens up and it smells and it shines and it brings the world, the beauty, this rose to this world. You bring your beauty to this world right now. All right. Now, we've gotten into that concept and we've talked about the brain, but I really like to explain this even in a different way. I like to explain this as if we were a piano, okay? And so now let's think about this. If we were a piano and we were a grand piano, which we all are, but we don't have to be a grand piano. You can be an upright piano. You can be whatever you want to be. You can be your grandma's piano in the basement, whatever piano. We're all different pianos. So let's say that. But as soon as the piano comes and is put into the room, as soon as I come and I am put onto this earth, it has infinite possibilities. I have infinite possibilities, right? That piano can play magnificent music. And it might play some really bad music too. You could play the piano and you just play the white keys. It might sound a little off, but you could. Or you could play just the black keys. It might sound a little off, but you could. You might never use the pedals. Well, that's okay. You could use this piano. This piano could be infinitely played in many, many ways, just like us. Just like us, we're a piano. And when you get a new piano, which happened, we got last year, it's this beautiful piano in our house because my husband plays piano. It takes a while for it to break in. You have to learn the piano. So think of the piano as kind of your brain, like you have to learn how to use your brain. You have to learn how to use the instruments of yourself, like the instruments of a piano. You need to learn how to play the white keys. You need to learn how to play the black keys. You need to break it in, you know? Sometimes it's stiff when you first get it. Sometimes it's tingy and it just needs to soften down. But it has the possibility to play magnificent music with practice. Practicing infinite possibilities. That's why I have the word practice, because it takes practice to get in there and to learn. A little baby has to practice even how to walk and how to talk. When you're in school, you have to learn how to practice riding your bike, communicating, expressing yourself. It's all about like playing the piano. We then not only are the piano, we are the person playing the music on the piano. We are learning how to use our brain and play our music. But in the beginning, when you first start learning how to play your music, what are you playing? You're playing other people's music. So you're playing chords. You got to learn how to play chords. That's like walking and talking. right? Taking turns. What I learned in kindergarten, that's like your chords. And then you get a little more advanced and someone says, well, let's play show tunes. Okay, that's like what you learn in your house, right? What you learn from your family. And then someone says, well, let's play jazz. Well, that might be what you learn from your peers and your coaches in sports or in your art teachers or wherever. You're taking it on. You're learning jazz, you're learning hip hop, you're learning classical music, show tunes, like I said, anything you want. You're learning how to play other people's music. That's like a human being. We are learning other people's ideas all the time. There is nothing wrong with learning other people's ideas. This is how we begin, how we start growing. It's how you start watering. But we're talking about being enough. And we do not want to end up playing other people's music, right? You do not want to be a player piano. So you go through your whole life, you take in everyone else's music and you're on automatic pilot just playing everybody else's piano. You are enough to know your own music. This is huge. And so you do learn other people's music because just like if you were a painter, you learn other people's styles and techniques and blending and you Renoir and wherever, all different masters. And then you start incorporating it together and you start to decide what is your music. I saw, and with my husband, a documentary that was from Billy Joel. And Billy Joel said, first of all, he said he had this conversation with Elton John. So I want you to know that. He said he started to get really good when he accepted he was not going to be Beethoven. Now, let me say it again. He said he started to get really good when he accepted he was never going to play like Beethoven. Accept yourself. You're not meant to be your mother. You're not meant to be your father. You're not meant to be your neighbor. You're not meant to be your reverend. You're not meant to be your minister. You're not meant to be anyone else but you. And this is when Billy Joel said he actually got really good on the piano. It wasn't that he didn't learn how to play Beethoven. He did. And I'm sure he's magnificent. He's an incredible player, right? Piano player. I love him. Same with Elton John. But when they accepted that they had their own style, this is what Rumi is saying. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You have everything inside you to bring out and learn from everything. And then you bring out your own music. Your music. People talk about being in the flow, right? Being in the flow. What is the flow? The flow is when you know you're enough. The flow is not when you're imitating someone else or when you're having a mindset in which you're thinking, what do I do next? Am I getting validated? Are they going to like this? Oh my God, I messed that up. That's not the flow. The flow is when you are playing your music from the inside out. I just saw a wonderful talk by Reverend Michael Beckwith, and he said, you don't get it. You don't get it, okay? Let it express through you. You don't get it, meaning you're not reaching out, trying to grab what you want, trying to be outside of you. It's inside of you already. You are enough. You have to allow it to cultivate. Yes, we cultivate it. And you have to be open, flexible enough and open and not rigid that things have to be a certain way on the outside. Let go of the control of the outside and allow your enoughness to come through. Allow your enoughness to come through. What is so wonderful of understanding it through a piano is that we are the piano, right? So in other words, we have a brain and we have a body, and this is a beautiful gift that the universe has given us as the birth of life to express ourselves. Then we are the player of this absolute beautiful vessel that has now been incarnated as you. But we get to play it. And I am not a player's piano. With all my imperfections and all my flaws, it makes me unique because I want to have my own music, and I don't even want to have it. I want you to know it is waiting to be called out. You don't have to want it. You have to let it out. You have to remember that it is already there. It is not something that you stuff inside of yourself so you can pull it out. It's something that you let it go and let it flow, and you go into the flow. You go into the flow. No matter what's happening on the outside, you can stay in that peace and calm that I talked about, that when we took the breath in and then we breathed out, how do we feel? Calm. It is your birthright to be calm. You can feel it. When everything is neutral, you have that feeling of peace, love, and joy. It is already inside of you. You sit in the silence to access it. Not building chaos or information out. You sit in the silence and you allow it to come out, like the scent of the rose, that you allow it to express. Or planting the seed of the acorn, and you water it and you let it be. And what does it start to do but grow? Why? Because it can. Because it can. You can. You are enough. You are the acorn. You are the acorn, and the tree is in you. Don't prune your tree. Allow it to flow up and out. So we are the piano. We are the player of the piano. But we are something else. We are the observer of the music. I am the piano. I can play the piano, meaning I can program my mind. And then one of the most magnificent things that we have been gifted in this human form is awareness, is consciousness. That we can actually see what we are thinking. And if we are playing the wrong music, we can observe it. We don't need to judge it. We can learn from it. We can try music on and see how it feels to us. And if we can allow that music then to be incorporated into our authentic self as we express ourselves, we can say, nah, that's the way the family does it, but that's not singing my song. I'm going to do it a different way. That's the way the nation does it. That's the way the religion does it. That's the way whatever you want to fill in, the sports team does it. But it's not singing my song. It's not singing my song. I'll tell you, I tried on competition. And yes, I was competitive when I was young. I played lots and lots of sports. And I tried that on, and I played that music pretty well. We won a lot of things. But as I got older, I realized that competition was not my music. I don't really enjoy even watching competition because I don't really resonate with winners and losers. I think we're all winners even when we're losing. So I'm not against anything. So the music doesn't sing for me anymore. I don't want to compete. It brings separateness in me. This is for me. I'm telling you my authentic self as I cracked open and I learned, I tried it. It worked for me for a while. But then as I grew and I started to play my music, I realized that was not really my authentic music as of Lindsay Leimbach right now. My authentic music is that we're all in this together. And I don't want there to be winners and losers. And I don't think falling down means that something went wrong. It means that we pick ourselves up. That is my authentic self. I'm not saying it's yours, but I can hear that music in me and I honor that. So how do you get into saying, well, Lindsay, what do you know is enough? How can you feel when something really is enough? It's, I'm enough. What do you mean by that? How do I know when I'm expressing this authentic music coming out of me and I am enough? And the good news is that your body knows. Check in with your body. If you are expressing something and you're doing something and you can feel the stress, this is your subconscious mind telling your body, hey, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. It's not because of fear. It's just telling you that this isn't your music. And it doesn't mean that you played a wrong song. It just means that it's not the song you're meant to play right now. It means incorporate what you learned and know that you have enough and what is meant to unfold. So we are the piano, right? We are the piano. We are the player of the piano. And we are the observer. And why? Because we're enough to understand even that concept and incorporate it. Don't take what I'm saying as the truth. This is my truth. Take it, sit with it, see, understand, observe other people, feel in your heart what is working for you. What is your music? There's no judgment when you play music. When you play a wrong key, no problem. When you're in the flow, you play a wrong key, then you just turn the corner and keep playing in a different direction. If you play a wrong key, then you just keep playing right over it. Because there's no wrong. There's just growth from your authentic, calm, loving self that you have all the time. I'm going to go up. And I want to shout out to my dad. Woo. Thank you, Dad, because Dad taught me to play some magnificent songs on my piano, right? On my piano, he taught me his songs, and I incorporate them, and I love them. I love them, but I'm playing my own version, my own version. I wanted to say, I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. Chick Corea, which is this magnificent jazz player, said, you can try to emulate, but each one of us has our own style, and that's where the music is. That's where the music is. I am not going to be my father, but I can learn from my father and be the best me. I am enough to be the best me in this moment. And shout out for Barbara. Yeah, she's a friend that teaches me music all the time too. I am so glad that I have so many of my friends and family here, and all of you are my friends and family. Play your music. Be the piano. Play the piano. Observe the piano and know you're enough. As Michael Beckwith says, don't go get it. Let it be expressed through you. You're here for your own purpose and reason. You have your own journey. That is your music. Play, play, play. So I want to thank everyone, like I said, and I want to thank New Thought Media Network. I'm so excited that I'm here. I want to give you guys a heads up. Next week, I thought, what do we do after We're Enough? Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I thought, oh, well, if we're enough, what is it that makes us even blossom more? To have the smell more, the music to play louder. We're always playing, but louder. So when I actually sold copiers when I got out of college, door to door. And people ask me, oh, what's one of the first books that turned you on? Well, who knew it? This is the first book I read, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I read this book not because I was thinking about myself and my spirituality. I was thinking because I want to make $1 million and I'm 21 years old. I better figure out how to do it. And someone threw me this book and I read it. I thought, there's something in this book. This was good music to start me on my journey. So I want to talk about Napoleon Hill and how do we go and do Think and Grow Rich, not just rich financially, because remember what I'm talking about, your richness and your gems are already in you, but how do you bring the gems inside of you out to play your music. So that will be our class next week. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Oh, please share this video. If you think someone needs to know, I am enough, you're enough, and here's why, then pass the video on. This is why I do it. And this is why New Thought Media is here, to reach the people who can grow and learn from all the beautiful messages out there. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Until next week.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents Lindsay Leimbach, Practicing Infinite Possibilities, Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific.